So let's start with the role of a father in his daughter's life.
For the son, the father models and demonstrates how to be.
Yeah.
For a girl, daddy teaches her how to be a non-sexual, intimate relationship with a male. You see, in the son's life, the father is there as a role model and a demonstration. In a girl's life, daddy's there as a relationship. It's different. A daddy is very different than a father. And the pieces that he gives his daughter let her know how to be within herself as a woman.
And also how to be with other men, because isn't it the first relationship that you have with a man?
Yeah.
And the way he treats your mother, the way he treats you, is how you model for yourself how a woman should be treated.
How a woman should be treated and how a woman should behave, how a woman should interact in a non-sexual but intimate way with a male. When daddy leaves, he takes a piece of the daughter's soul with him. And that lacking, very often we try to fill
Hey
up.
guys,
in all sorts
Wagwan.
of
It's
ways.
a girl Alexa with the second episode of the therapy session. Today we have the beautiful Breeny Lee, and we will be discussing women growing up without a father figure, how it affects us in general, and how it affects us when choosing a partner. Now, Breeny said something to me that really stood out. She said, "You heal the child, you heal the adult." Now, this stood out because so many of us women are walking around with daddy issues, and this is because we haven't dealt with the core issue that caused this. You know, we haven't had that one-on-one conversation with our dad, or we just haven't made peace with ourselves. Now, stay tuned to find out how you can kickstart the healing process. Let's get right into
who
it.
you are and what you do. Can you just tell me a bit about yourself and who Breeny Lee is?
Yeah, my name is Breeny Lee. I'm a digital influencer / YouTuber. So I make video content specializing in hair, makeup, beauty, and lifestyle. So I basically influence people to buy or purchase different hair care, makeup care, fashion, and all that kind of stuff. So I am I'm the person in between the brand and the consumer. So yeah, I'm a digital influencer. Been doing it for about seven years, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, and I've watched your channel and I know that you not only talk about like beauty stuff, but you talk about like real lifestyle issues that probably persons won't talk about on a typical day. The topic that we will be discussing today is, women growing up without a father figure. And I've seen you discuss this on your channel. But tell
Yeah.
us what your story is as it relates to your father and how it was growing up.
Yeah. I grew up in a quite dysfunctional house. It wasn't the usual household because my father was basically my father had two women that he had in the house, and my mum was basically the mistress. So she had her kids, and he had his kids with his wife. It was a really complicated situation, so I kind of grew up in that. My father was also very physically abusive as well towards my mother.
Wow.
But I was about 3 years old, so I didn't really know or see any of that.
Right.
And most of the things I know about my father are things that I've heard from either my mum or like my half siblings. And so the impression that I've had about him has never been anything good. Also, I don't remember him at all. Like, I always said I could walk past him in the street and not even recognize him because I don't know him. So my mum decided to leave him when I was 3 years old, and I haven't seen him since. So I've grown up, I've been in the world for 24 years. I basically haven't known my father. I've been without a father for 24 years. Yeah, so, so that's my story.
That's a pretty touching story. I know that must have impacted you in some way, being a female and not having the first love of her life being and playing that role. How has this impacted you as a woman? in choices when it comes on to choosing a spouse or just behaving in general when it comes on to men or relating?
I feel like when you don't really have like a father, you don't have any guidance. So you're just kind of trying to figure it out. You don't have an example. You don't know. You don't know how you're supposed to be treated. You just kind of accept anything. And also, when I was younger, I didn't really get that much attention in school. So I went to a predominantly white school. So I was basically, like, I guess I would say the ugly duckling out of my friendship group. Yeah, I was kind of like the ugly duckling. So when I left school, when I was in school, I was trying to get attention from like men and boys and stuff through like just giving them my body, because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was.
Right.
I didn't know who I was as a woman. I had no identity. I didn't know dad to tell me, this is what you should accept. This is who you are as a person. My mum, God bless her, she was very busy and preoccupied with her other children.
Right.
And obviously the mess and stuff that she's dealing with herself because of an abusive situation. She was separated from her family. It was very like, it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. So, I was always seeking attention. I always felt like I couldn't be seen in my house. I felt like I was hidden. And also I was the last child as well, out of the four of us. So I always felt like I was really hidden. So I was just go out and find guys to just like sleep with and just get some momentarily attention and affection. And I would just give my body away and just hope that, fingers crossed, that somebody would love me, And so I really didn't know who I was, and I was trying to find my identity in how many men that I was sleeping with and stuff. So it did definitely make me very promiscuous and just had no boundaries and no guidelines. So I was kind of just doing anything that felt right to me. And yeah, that was basically it.
Yeah, and I can definitely relate to this as I really didn't grow up with my father in my life, because I remember my mom telling me that when I was about 3 months old, he actually went overseas, and
Went where?
He went overseas. He actually went to England, and he was
Okay.
over there for like half my life, and then he got deported. And I remember when I was about 11 years old and he came back to Jamaica, and I thought that he was coming back here to kind of fix things between me and him. However, when he came back here, basically all he did was just ask my mother for money because he was trying to get over to another country. And it really made me feel lost as a person, because when I was in high school, I used to be very rebellious. I used to like seek attention as well from men. And even up to now, it still affects like certain aspects of my life, even though I'm trying to renew the path and try to be a better person and just to know myself. But I can definitely relate to your story, and this is why I chose you to do this. And so do you think that it's possible for women to unconsciously seek fatherly love and approval through adult partners?
Yes, absolutely. My therapist always says, if you heal the child, you will heal the adult.
Right.
And so that child part of me for instance, that child part of me was looking for someone to protect me, someone to love me, someone to tell me that I was beautiful, that I was enough. And that child never got that, So when you grow up, quote unquote, grow up, you're still looking for that. That part of you is still very much empty.
Yeah.
And I really feel like if you don't find God to be your father, you can just still try to find, you could spend your whole life searching for that missing piece and never finding any man, And so I think definitely, I feel like one of my friends, her dad wasn't around, but he would always give her like money and just throw money at her. So when she grew up, she thought she wants a man that's rich.
Yeah.
That's got money. So all the guys she went for were like drug dealers and guys that had money and that would spend money on her, So it definitely negatively affects us adults, and we definitely think that we subconsciously feel like we can find that in somebody else, but no man is our dad. Our man is supposed to be our equal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you kind of go into the relationship on a deficit, as opposed to, okay, this is me. I'm a whole person going to add my whole person to another whole person. We kind of come in 50%. We're half broken, you know, and we try to join ourselves to somebody else, whether they're broken and most of the time they're broken too, you know, so they can't fix us, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Especially like men nowadays, like they're so psychologically. I think that, you know, there has been a breakdown when it comes on to men. So looking at like women trying to find themselves in a man when a man can't even find themselves, it's like a total disaster. And I think that's why so many relationships are not working right now, because you have like two halves going into a relationship and people trying to find each other in other person in their spouse, and it's just not working out.
Exactly.
There's a trend nowadays where a lot of girls, they have this thing where they're called their spouse daddy or zaddy. Do you think these are some traits that have developed by women with daddy issues?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. But girls call the partner daddy, and the guy actually calls the girl baby as well. That is, to be honest, really messed up when you think about it.
Yeah.
I think subconsciously, on a conscious level, no, you don't think, oh, that's my daddy. Maybe my baby daddy, but not my actual daddy.
Right.
But on a subconscious level, you kind of, it's twisted, to be honest, because you kind of want, I guess it goes back to looking for your dad in that man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Fatherly love.
And that fatherly love as well. So yeah, I think I think a lot of people are not aware of it, but it's a part of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what are some like examples of healthy ways do you think that we women can help ourselves to work through these issues?
Therapy, church, finding God, good friends, communicating with your mom, talking about the past, just trying to get answers, because we as the children, or as the child of Daddyless, as a child in a situation, we don't actually know that what the dynamics was, because we can say, let's say there's a girl and her dad left her, right?
Yeah.
But she grows up thinking, I'm not wanted, but she may not know that her dad had to go away for a specific reason, you know, and your dad did love you, but he had to go away. Or someone that gives their child up for adoption, you may think, oh, my mom or my dad has rejected me, but they may have been at risk. Their lives may have been at risk.
Yeah.
Your life may have been at risk. So sometimes we don't actually know the full story, and sometimes when we can complete the story, it makes us change our perspective and look at things better.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So talking and communicating with your family, your mom, especially your mom, if she is a good communicator, someone that you can easily speak to. But for me, therapy has really been helping me, because I'm somebody that keeps everything inside, and I don't talk about it, and I don't trust anybody to listen to my story.
Right.
And so being able to go to therapy has been a real relief, and I've been able to just overcome so much, and like I said, heal the child, heal the adult, and a lot of things that I'm facing now is a result of my childhood. And my daddy issues, mainly my daddy issues, you know. So therapy is definitely top 3.
Is there like any other suggestion, like for persons that probably can't afford therapy, or they don't have any close friend that they can share their story with?
Yeah.
what other suggestion would you give to those persons?
I would say you could speak to someone that you trust, a friend, because like I said, therapy is really, like, my therapist hasn't necessarily been the one to help me. What has helped me is me getting it out of my system,
Okay.
you know? So
Yeah.
if you can talk to someone that is a trusted friend, someone that you can just be vulnerable and open with, sometimes when it's all inside, it's like a scrambled mess.
Yeah.
But once you get it out, it makes a lot more sense to you, and it kind of puts everything into perspective, you know. And first and foremost, I just know that me being a born again Christian, giving my life to Christ, has definitely been a work in progress. Like, and I really feel that God is the only person that can really, really change you.
Yeah.
And like, even with my therapist, she's a Christian therapist as well. So it's not only her. Like, she works with God and works with the Holy Spirit to really just try and get specifically to the point of my need, so that we can like heal it and bring it up and heal it. So God is the first and foremost that can heal you. But then I always feel like your body and your soul and your spirit. So the body, if the body is sick, you go to a doctor. If the soul is sick, you see a therapist. But if the spirit is sick, you need God, you need the intervention. You know. So those are my tips, to be honest.
Okay, so I watched your last episode of the Soul Surgery. Can you tell me like what's next? What's gonna be the topics of discussion in the next season or series?
Yes. I am hoping with all of my heart to do a series on Black issues.
Yeah.
Which will talk about mental health in the Black community. It will talk about colorism. It will talk about misogyny. It will talk about racism and things that nobody wants to talk about. And for me, it's just all about getting different perspectives, because I'm still learning. Though I'm on YouTube and people look at me like I'm teaching them something, I'm also still learning. So it would be a time of education for others and also education for myself.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I'm doing, yeah.
Okay, so I'm totally looking forward to the next series of Soul Surgery. And I just want to thank you. That ends our questions for today. I just want to thank you again. It was really nice having this discussion with you. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you. I wish you all the best with what you're doing as well. And well
guys,
done.
thank you so much to the wonderful Breeny Lee. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels if you have not already done so, and to follow us on Instagram. Also, don't forget to check out my website and my blog. This is your girl Alexia signing out from the beautiful island of Jamaica. Stay tuned for more amazing content. Bye!